What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. This is a new series I hope to be doing. I don't actually play Rogue too regularly, but I just decided to make one because when I used to play World of Warcraft, when I first started playing, my main was a Rogue, and I enjoyed the concept of stealth and just thievery and bleeds and all that poison nonsense, so I figured I'd jump back into it. I see a lot has changed, but hopefully I'll at least understand the fundamentals of it in PvP. My goal isn't to take PvP too seriously, but just document my journey and allow you guys to see my journey along the way. So as I'm PvPing, I figured I would just have a voiceover just to give you guys a little bit of audio entertainment while you're watching the visuals of the PvP. And something that has crossed my mind, and I'm sure many of your minds or the minds of other people in the World of Warcraft community, is the current state of PvP. A lot of people aren't particularly happy with it. A lot of people can't unfortunately express why they're not happy with it, and this is my biggest problem because you want someone to fix something. It's a very funny episode of Futurama where there's an issue, I believe, with a ship or something, and Leela is trying to fix it, and Fry understands there's an issue, and rather than just letting Leela do it, he's just screaming in her face, "Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it," which doesn't do anything, and that's unfortunately I feel a big narrative of the World of Warcraft community. And I know what you're thinking. It's your first video and you're already insulting us. But this, I'm not insulting you if you're not like that. But it seems silly to yell at the World of Warcraft developers to fix something when you're not telling them what to fix. I'm sure they understand things like when code's broken, they understand how to fix that. But if it's a personal issue, if it's a matter of opinion, I mean, they designed it a certain way, and if you disagree with it, that's fine. But if you can't express why you disagree with it, it's very difficult for them to just read your mind and fix it for you. So I'm going to go over some of the things that I feel could use a slight adjustment, just from my experience playing this game. Um, what I've noticed comparing World of Warcraft to some other MMORPGs I've played before is that the game really lacks a balance. What makes any game really successful is that it's a very balanced ecosystem where everything's able to counter everything else. Now, obviously, everything has a weak spot, but in the same sense, that weak spot also is strong in another sense, against another class, for example. World of Warcraft doesn't really seem to have that. I know it doesn't matter what class I say. As soon as I pick a class, there's going to be a million comments jumping down my throat that how am I saying that class is overpowered? Because that class is nerfed. It's this class that's overpowered. I get the grass is always greener, so to try to look at it from the most unbiased perspective that I personally know, because I can only go by my personal experience, I tried playing a few different classes just to see how they perform in a PvP scenario. I understand PvE is different, but that's not what I'm talking about. For the specific analysis, I'm looking at PvP. So the classes that I played was my current main, which is an Affliction Warlock. My rogue, who I was playing all three specs, but I think I'm having the most fun in either Outlaw, which I don't love the RNG of Roll the Bones, and Assassination seems to have the most control. I really enjoy the control that Assassination has. And a Demon Hunter. I've played both Havoc and Vengeance of Demon Hunter, both in a little bit in PvE and a little more in PvP. Playing all three, the one thing I've noticed is people go on about Warlock survivability, and Warlocks have killer survivability, definitely, but it's much stronger in PvE than it is in PvP. And a big portion of that is because of stuns and CCs. I think this is a problem in the game, and before you guys get upset with me and just saying it's coming from a caster, of course you don't like CCs and stuns, I'll tell you why. I don't mind silences. Silences are fine, because silences still allows me to play the game that I pay $15 a month for, but a stun or a CC, specifically more than anything, a stun, essentially is me taking a 1.5 second, 2 second bio break. I could literally, my computer could shut down, and if it can turn up on fast enough, I wouldn't even know, because there's nothing I can do to deal with that stun, except a 2 minute cooldown. So that means if I break out of that stun by using a trait that has a 2 minute cooldown, for the next 2 minutes, I'm still susceptible to that exact same problem. It just seems silly. It seems like lazy development, in my opinion. And I know you guys will justify stuns, I'm sure you will, and I play a rogue who uses stuns. But even when playing it, it just feels like lazy gameplay. I feel if they were to take away the stun, but allowed us to maybe even a slow or something that still allows the opponent to have control over their character, even if it's not complete control, at least it's something. I just feel forcing you to say sorry, you have no control over your character, and this person has free reign of what they decide to do with you for a second or two seems a little lazy in my opinion. But I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Another thing is about the imbalance of silences. Um, as casters suffer from silences, from snares, roots, and stuns, and melee suffer from all of those except silences. Now you'd say, well, when you're snared, the caster can still attack you, and that's very correct, except you can get away. But when a caster is stunned, you can get away or you can wail on him. So it's sort of just a double negative for the caster in that sense, playing both specs or both sides of the argument. I've seen that it is there's a meta in PvP, at least in my opinion, in my perspective, that the meta is leaning a little bit more towards melee, just because they can survive a little bit more and they're less susceptible to having their spells interrupted. You can silence a melee, but it doesn't really do anything. Um, Another thing is magic damage is, at least for a warlock. I can't speak for any other class, but the magic damage I do is almost insignificant because I can spend 30 seconds ramping up all my dots, having a perfect rotation on something, and one dispel and it's gone. And you say, yeah, but they got silenced. It wasn't worth the silence because even if I apply all my dots, I don't have my 3 soul shards back. My trinket's off cooldown now. It's just not worth it. I feel either the penalty should be greater for dispelling everything in my arsenal with one click, or you should just not remove every single buff. I feel that's a little bit overkill, just from my perspective. And I know sharing your opinion, especially in World of Warcraft, is not a very popular thing to do, because as soon as I share something that someone may not agree with, it's going to be an all-out war. But it's okay. I'm going to try to change that narrative, because I hope that some of you listeners out there, I've seen a lot of you posters on people like McGurgle and Asmongold, and while there are a lot of trolls, there are very educated people. Like, you guys are really smart people. You make educated comments, and I hope that some of you will communicate to me, because even if you disagree with me, as long as it's an educated rhetoric, I would love to read it, and I would love to analyze it, and I would love to communicate back to you, because that's why I'm doing this. The purpose of this video and me communicating like this is to hopefully create a dialogue between me and other people. Currently, I am in a guild and stuff, but I'm sort of bored because I don't. My jobs took me away from raiding. I can't raid that often, so I've been playing the game very solo. So I figured making videos and just sharing my views and content is a way to connect with people again, even if it's just through social media. I feel just sharing something I'm passionate about, like World of Warcraft and PvP in World of Warcraft, is something others share as well, and hopefully we can share tips, tricks, videos, editing tricks, anything of the sorts. Um, two more things that I want to cover before I end this video is the lack of effort in PvP is sort of it's a broken system, the AFK system, because as long as people don't report you, from my understanding, and as long as you're walking every once in a while, you can't get kicked out of a battleground. So I feel a lot of people abuse this system, especially under the circumstances of something like the PvP holiday weekends. It's exceptionally abused by people that don't normally PvP just because they want to get the box. And that's fine, but it's not fair to the people that really try. And the last thing is just the Paragon system, where you just keep leveling, level 1, Prestige 1, Prestige 2. I feel there's not enough incentive to make people want to Prestige the whole way. Mounts are great, but they're not even that special, the mounts. And I feel if you added a little bit more incentive, be it titles or specific armor you can only unlock at a certain prestige, unless you can, and I'm ignorant to that, but from my understanding that doesn't exist. I feel there should be a little bit more incentive to really want to chase that prestige, to get to the end prestige. Or even if there's just one item at the very end, when you reach the end of prestige, if they give you some kind of incredible mount that really reflects your side of the faction, like it's just covered in like the enemy's skulls or something, like a war wolf or something that really reflects that you killed that many people to get to that prestige. That may be cool too, but I don't know. So let me know what you guys think, and I'd like to see where your guys' heads are at. When thinking about the PvP system and how you feel about PvP, because a lot of people dislike it. They're not happy with the way it is, but they can't explain why. So hopefully you guys can articulate it a little bit better than some other people have. So if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Please leave in the comments anything that you feel I could improve on, or anything you'd like to hear or I should leave out next time. And I look forward to reading all the comments and making my next video. Thank you guys for watching my video, and have a good day.